This is Vietnam in 1968, a country devastated by the war and one of the poorest countries on the planet. A country Pham Nhat Vuong was born in, the country's richest man as of today, with a net worth of over $9 billion. This is his story of how he went from nothing to selling noodles in the Ukraine and to finally going back to his home country of Vietnam to become what he is today. Pham Nhat Vuong, or I will just call him Pham, was born in 1968 in Hanoi. His father served in the North Vietnamese Air Defense Force. His mother ran a sidewalk tea stand. The country was in a dire condition because of the Vietnam War, and the national finances were in ruin. Vietnam had few allies outside of Soviet Russia. Pham's family at one point survived solely on his mother's meager earnings. "My dream at the time wasn't big," said Pham. "I just wanted to support my family." He escaped his circumstances through studying hard in his teenage years and managed to score a scholarship to study in Moscow at the School of Mining and Geology. In 1993, at the time when the Soviet Union had just collapsed and many new opportunities emerged, Pham graduated from university. However, he did not choose the mining profession he studied for. First he tried his luck in the Russian capital, then moved to the Ukraine, where he opened a Vietnamese restaurant and established Technocom company in Kharkov. At the same time, his home country of Vietnam began experimenting with market-based reforms called Doi Moi within the ongoing socialist structure. Later that year, in 1993, he started producing instant noodles with the brand name My Vina, which was mostly backed by his mother's investment from her small tea stand. He produced the noodles according to the production process imported from Vietnam. The concept of instant noodles was completely new to the Ukrainians and an instant hit. According to Pham, the Ukrainians were poor and hungry. By 2004, his instant noodles brand My Vina had accounted for 97% market share in Ukraine. In 2007, his business started to produce fast food and produce packaged soups, with great success. The name Pham Nhat Vuong is worthy of the title King of Processed Food in the Ukrainian market. Back in Vietnam, the economy was booming. Vietnam had just dodged the 1997 Asian financial crisis, normalized trade relations with the US, and reaffirmed the economic role of the private sector. Between 2000 and 2006, Vietnam's GDP would grow at least 6% each year. Pham decided to return to Vietnam in about 2003, where he came up with the idea of turning some pristine islands in Nha Trang into high-class resorts. As a result, the 225-room Win Pearl Resort Nha Trang was born. A year later, he opened Vincom Ba Trioi, the first commercial center complex in Hanoi. 3 years later, he added 260 more rooms at the Win Pearl Resort and installed a 3.2 kilometer long trans-sea cable car. He also built Vincom Village with hundreds of luxury villas. Vincom was listed on the stock exchange in 2003. In 2010, his career took another turn when Nestle acquired Technocom for about $150 million. At the time, the average annual household income was just about $800 in Vietnam. In 2014, Pham launched additional businesses such as Win Fashion, BFF, Win Pro, and others. 2015 then was Pham listed as the richest person in Vietnam, worth about $1.1 billion at the time. Next, Win Group officially announced its entry into the agricultural sector with the Vineco brand. Vineco's goal is to provide a clean and safe food source, and then brings some of Vietnam's strong agricultural products to the world. Win Group also surprised the car business with Vinfast brand, launched in October 2018. Despite being a young car business, Vinfast surprised the market at the Paris Motor Show in France. In addition, in the last days of 2018, Vingroup announced the launch of 4 smartphone models under the V-Smart brand and launched many new phone models in 2019. According to information from Vingroup, the phone product has launched just 6 months since the announcement of the establishment of V-Smart. According to Pham, his secret has been focusing on people like himself, members of the new generation, who are intent on living better than their parents. It's a big market. About 60% of Vietnam's 92 million citizens are under 40 years old, and he caters to them with tightly integrated projects in prime locations. He doesn't just build condos, villas, and apartment blocks. He also builds hospitals, office buildings, and shopping malls that support them. And just as important, while even other real estate developers back in the game face massive delays, Pham completes his project on time, according to him. While he emerged as the richest man in Vietnam, he has had a brutal time raising money domestically in Vietnam. Locals shun the stock. Some Vietnamese brokerages, like Saigon Securities, don't even assign analysts to cover it. We simply don't like a company that has to constantly raise funds and incurs debt in 2 or 3 consecutive years, said one investment analyst at Saigon Securities. Nearly 50% of Vietnam's public companies are grossly inefficient concerns and formally run by the state. Vingroup is one of the few listed companies without a communist heritage. Thus, 2 key foreign Vietnam-centric funds, Deutsche Bank's MSCI Vietnam and the Vineco Vectors ETF, load up on it, to the tune of 16% and 7% of their indexes, respectively. These outside forces are as responsible as anything for driving Pham's new billionaire status. I plan to create a lot more videos about Asian economics in the future. If you are interested, please check out my channel and subscribe for more.